Well, hello and welcome back to my take two. Hello, welcome back to my channel. This is the great thing about live is I can't edit it out. So what you see is what you get. I apologize. I am not my usual jovial self. I actually don't feel not feeling very well. Friday I was not very well. I actually threw up before I went to work. Went to work, struggled through work, picked up during the day, and since then my stomach has just been churning. So I don't know what's wrong with me. Um, I don't know, but it is likely that I've picked something up from the lovely little darlings at school. Because everything and anything's going around at the moment as we're heading into winter in Australia. So everything and everything is is going around to the point now where I actually have to now, after each piano lesson, I now have to wipe down the piano before and after each student. So that sort of tells you where we're going. Hello, Renelle. Hello, Heather, Christine. Yeah. So look, I'm here. I have been watching from afar the craziness that has gone on. I cannot believe somebody who is in an active lawsuit be so reckless. There's a thing called reckless disregard of the truth in law, and I'm wondering whether we're heading down to that part. Or hello, short order. Short order is our entertainment expert. We've got experts. Everybody on here is an expert of something. Short order actually works in the entertainment industry in Australia. So there we go. It is pure insanity. So I know that we got a response. I know that we found out that Amber, 7M's lawyer, had cancer and had surgery. And I sort of now realize why everything's been quiet, because she's had bigger things to deal with, as we know. So this is from my community tab, and it says, "The Honourable Judge Willis, I'm writing to request a 90-day extension for deadlines for depositions, dispositive motions and non-dispositive motions of the matter. I was diagnosed with cancer last month. I underwent surgery last week, which I am still recovering from. With my current treatment plan plus the 60-day extension, should be all that is needed from me at this time. I did reach out to opposing counsel to request a joint stipulation on this extension, and they did not respond. Funnily, if there's a hearing required to discuss a potential extension, I would request the hearing be allowed to be via Zoom telephonic conference." Well, it's funny because as soon as Amber writes to the court, suddenly we get a response from Katie's lawyer. Now, there is a line in this that has got me absolutely baffled. And I have actually asked a couple of lawyers that I know, because now I'm a law student, and every one of my lecturers is a actual working lawyer. They all work in the field. They all work as lawyers. Their day job is to represent people. And I asked the question, and my lecturer said to me, "Was this written by a lawyer?" And I said, "Well, it's got the law firm's name on it," because they could not believe it. They said exactly what I said, that was very ambiguous. But anyway, here's the response. "Dear Judge Willis, I'm in receipt of Ms. Staggervag's request to extend the deadlines in this matter. Counsel have conferred and have agreed upon various dates for plaintiff's depositions, which are now noticed in late 2024. There is a dispute as to whether counsel will accept service for two individuals identified in her initial disclosures as being available through her and who appear to be either employees of 7M or doing substantial work that would be done by an employee. To the extent the plaintiff does not seek to continue these depositions, I do not object to the deadline extensions requested by Ms. Staggervag. However, I do request that the court schedules a status conference sometime in very late July or early August to discuss the issues outlined above. I do not object to this conference being telephonic. However, I do object to a video conference since there is a history of third parties illegally streaming proceedings in this case. Very yours truly, Jennifer Moore. Now, it's this line. There is a dispute as to whether counsel will accept service for two individuals identified in her initial disclosures as being available through her and who appear to be either employees of 7M or doing substantial work. So I guess there's a dispute as to are they represented by her? Is she accepting service for them? It's very ambiguous. To the extent that plaintiff does not seek to continue these depositions, I do not object to the deadline. So is she saying here that if they don't want those depositions from those two questionable people, then they don't object? But so this is where it gets very, very ambiguous because you can actually read it several ways. And I don't know. It's got me stumped. I mean, it's not the way lawyers generally write. I mean, the way they write is generally the way Amber writes. Well, that's right. I thought that too. It was what? Yeah. So it says there's a dispute as to whether counsel will accept service for two individuals identified in her initial. So they've obviously put names forward that they want to depose. The question is whether she's representing those people and who seem to be employees or doing the work of an employee of 7M. I guess it's usually very clear and not open to interpretation. This is the thing, and there's been a whole discussion thread about it, and there's about 4 or 5 different people involved, and we've all interpreted it differently, which would say to me that there's an issue with the way it's written, because you can read that several ways. It says there's an issue. Is it saying that there's an issue with service? Are they asking Amber to take service? Are they saying to Amber, will you accept service? We want to depose these people. Are you going to accept service for that? Are they saying that we want to depose these people and we can't? There's several ways that it could go. It's not usually so grey. Very, very confusing to say the least. So I guess the only thing is that there has been no objection. So at this stage, it would look like that there will be an extension. And Amber has just said, according to her current plan, she only expects to have that time. And usually the courts generally don't have issues with delays that are enough. I mean, the fact that she got diagnosed and she's had surgery straight away. I actually had to check which side this law firm were on. Yeah, it's Katie's law firm. Yeah, it's Katie's law firm. The fact that it's definitely very, very confusing. Now, the Queen of Dirty Deleting has been really busy again by the looks of it, because I've seen stuff and screenshots of stuff that have disappeared into the abyss. So let's start off with we'll start from we'll have a look at Instagram, because we're still on it at all. I mean, I thought she would have talked about Ginger's interview that she did, or Mary Brown did a podcast the other day. I thought she might have talked about that, but she's still got Robert Shin on her mind. I've got you. He's under her skin, no doubt. And so I also I know that I did. There's been some threats and everything now. There has been some more come out now as well, by the way. And apparently now both lawyers are getting threats. What does this sound like? If it would be plausible if we hadn't been down this path before. It sounds like a Netflix series, by the way. Oh, now my internet's not working. Oh, yeah, I've only got 2 more weeks and I'm on holidays, and I'm really looking for a holiday. We've had 11-week term. 11 weeks. I'm done. I'm sort of done. I've got to get through the next 2. Do this. So, Miranda Derrick was seen, doesn't look scared at a Netflix premiere with Alison Hawker. Apparently, Alison has no problem continuing to support and enable Robert Shin. I'm honestly disappointed, surprised. P.S. Miranda isn't scared. This was all an intermittent tactic by Robert Shin. Well, she probably still is scared, but she's got to still make money. I mean, you can be scared and have to go out and earn money to pay your bills. Hollywood is filled with fake people and people that are after numbers. Alan isn't in, but he's certainly not concerned or worried at all about Robert Shin. So this woman, she's saying, is not in the cult, but Miranda's hanging out with somebody that's not in the cult. But I thought that they couldn't deal with people, they couldn't hang out with people not in the cult. Then she says anyone that does this honestly shouldn't be trusted. Every time something comes out that doesn't match her playbook, it's Robert's fault. It's Robert's fault. How dare Miranda go out and have a good time? And look, didn't you know that without James? James isn't inside, or is she going to now tell me that he was? And hilariously, Miranda was out at a Netflix premiere. So it's very interesting. Miranda is allowed to attend a Netflix premiere when Robert is trying to discredit the documentary release. She goes, it's all for appearances. I don't know, nor have I ever trusted Alison since Twitch's death. So this is Twitch's wife, apparently. I know, I'm sorry, I know we all have to eat and pay bills, but no way I'd be over my husband suddenly killing himself and how madly in love they were and those kids. It would take me more than 6 to 12 months. Well, but the thing is, no, everybody grieves differently. Everybody grieves differently. I know a man, he was an older man, who 6 months after his wife passed, had married somebody else. He needed to have somebody around him. Now, do I agree with that? Not necessarily, but he's very, very happy. Everybody grieves differently. I'm not going to criticize somebody for the way that they grieve. That was her look tonight. So again, we've got, it doesn't matter. Enable cult leaders, in my opinion, aren't friends. Real friends wouldn't do this ever. Alison isn't in the cult, but he's certainly not concerned or worried about Robert Shin. Maybe Robert is love bombing Alison. I think it's really funny in a way. Miranda, it is actually very funny, isn't it? Yeah, she's Netflix function. Good on her. Yeah. All right, if I can't get this to work, I'll have to go through Reddit, I think, because Reddit will have it all, or Armageddon will have it. She'll have it all. I'll have to do it the other way. What a pain. Yeah. So, but what that again shows that there are there's questions. She threw that in KJ's face resource. But so you say now can't go out of the, so if you're scared, you shouldn't go out the house. I guess, is that what she's saying? If you're scared, you shouldn't be going out the house. It's crazy, to be honest. It's crazy because, you're allowed to be, everyone's allowed to be scared. Hang on. What have I got on here that's really causing my computer? She did throw it in her face with swords. But now my exciting. Oh, sort of sums up my day today. Sort of sums up my current few days where I haven't been well. Yeah. So let's see if I can get Reddit up. Reddit will have it. I was also looking through the Dancing with the Devil Reddit, and I'm wondering whether some of those posters are not in fact Katie, because some of them are just spewing her narrative out a lot, and yeah, I took on a fight. Well, not a fight. I took on an argument with somebody over. They posted something on and I just said, "Don't believe everything you read. Here's some facts for you." And I got told that I was, a supporter of Robert Sheehan. I said, "No, I just want the facts out there. And even if it is a cult, who am I to say whether she's happy or not?" You know? Because we know that being in a cult's not illegal. We know that as such. Katie Joy to contact Isaiah Shin. Now she's been blocked by Isaiah Shin, and she's put that all over all over Instagram that he blocked her. I mean, would you talk to her? I don't know what. Yeah, it says it's not working. Look, I'm not going into arguments about them about who's right or who's wrong. I said, just remember, they gave you they only gave you one side of the story. Admittedly, they refused, but I said Miranda made some public posts. They never published her public posts, so that they never put those posts that were on her social media out there. And I said the other thing is that Melanie Lee was well out of the picture before 7M was even started. Doesn't even fit the timeline. So the post she made to Isaiah about his father's allegations should have had her rolled off the. Oh, exactly. But then she's bragged. Oh, I've been blocked. You always block someone when you got something to hide. Well, how many times has she blocked people? If you're going to make statements like that, then you've got to understand that people who you have blocked, if you're going to block people and go, well, if you block people, you've got something to hide, you have to understand that people are going to call you out for that same thing. So it is just crazy. Oh, here we go. Finally. Yeah, that's like the queen of blockety block. Correct. Particularly when there are archival consultants coming up everywhere. Yeah. So they could have said, I mean, Netflix could have said, we asked for comment, however, Miranda posted these comments on her social media, and this is what Miranda have said. And that would give people context and say, well, the parents say this, Miranda says that. Is there some truth to either side of the allegation? Because people, that to me would have made it fairer. But to say no, there was no response, and not even acknowledge there were statements made, even by 7M, because there was the original statement from 7M, the public statements. Because usually, okay, I don't know anything about entertainment, but for me, I like a nice, balanced document. I like to know both sides to make up my own mind. Maybe I'm just in dreamland, I think so. They have to be keeping an eye on her. That's why I'd say that she's been in trouble because she's done a couple of podcasts now. So I would say that she's been in trouble, and Netflix are trying to just temper the damage. I was surprised that she was able to do it, to be honest with you. All right, let's have a look here. What's Llama Girl got for us? Or is it Miss Balls that's got it? I think Miss Balls might have it. Oh, sorry, she told me not to call her Miss Balls. Sorry, she told me to call her Balls, but I don't know. I feel a bit. I feel weird saying that. All right. So let's start with this one, because the first thing you're going to see is that Cactus Bill gets dragged into this. Now, interestingly enough, I was watching her live the other night, and another Cactus Bill joined, and so somebody was in there in a sock account using her name. Okay. So if anyone receives an emails from this address, Katie J.M. Paulson, this is not my account or my email. I would never contact anyone or any attorney of Robert Shin. Robert's trolls have attempted to interfere in my lawsuit by using this fake email to send threats to his lawyer. You saw that short order. It was freaky, wasn't it? Additionally, anyone receiving any emails from It's Cactus Bill, this is not me or anyone affiliated with me. My attorneys are handling this situation. Please do not email me in any capacity regarding this case. I will delete and block anyone attempting to contact me related to Robert Shin. Please not email about this story. I will not be responding to any direct messages unless I know you, or I specifically know that you are a former member of Shekinah Church. Why not spam? Anyway, because if you put, anyway. This is the thing. It's so great, this line, because she interchanges 7M and Shekinah. It's so convenient. Anyway. All other DMs will not be returned. Do not email me questions about the case. I will not respond to anyone emailing questions. We're dealing with serious threats from the cult at this time, and I must protect myself. Ask any questions on public posts. This series has been viewed 10 million times, and I cannot respond to the 1,000+ messages I have received since the release. Thank you. All media and podcast requests must go through Netflix. I cannot approve any requests. Please reach out to proper channels at Netflix for media requests. Netflix is not approving all requests at this time. Finally, thank you to everyone that is sharing and talking about this series. For many of us, they have been involved for years. There is safety for us now that everyone is talking about it. This series and Robert Shin content creators covering this story, please be careful and do not engage with bot accounts from the cult. Robert Shin is desperate right now. Threats have escalated this week, and his trolls are attacking both sides to create chaos. He wants to silence us, but we will not be silent. There are people who are in danger and their life safety is at risk. Please remember the dancers are victims. Isn't that interesting, though, that now suddenly we've got so and then there's this one. Robert Shin's trolls are now filing false reports with my email. I would never use this email to ever file a police report with any attorney, with the Attorney General or any agency, period. This email is a public email for tips only, not for personal use of any kind of my business. Do not respond to any emails or reports filed with their email address. Then she says, Aya Shin blocked me after I shared factual posts from his Instagram to my stories. This is how Robert Shin tries to erase evidence and preventing anyone from seeing facts. I believe he privated it, so I don't believe it was deleted. I believe it was privated, but you know. So yes. What does this takes me back to Tati. Remember, there was all these allegations and all this really crazy stuff going on. Hello, Barbara. I mean, do you find it really weird that we're at the same point in time and we're at the same part we've got to a certain point of the lawsuit, and then suddenly, like, all these things are happening to her. I find that to be really, really bizarre. Now, so just to show you, Bill did post on her Stackry just to help that this is not me. It's someone with the mind of a frozen pea. Anyway, my handle on TikTok, X, IG, besides YouTube, is actually Cactus Bill. Besides YouTube, which is Cactus Bill, is it's Crystal Bill. It's Crystal Bill. I'm now seeing some new, well-researched and referenced channels. I'll talk about KJ and reference are reporting very interesting. Don't waste your energy interacting with them. Ignoring them is best. Let them stress themselves out. Now, somebody discovered that on her Google account, the email address that she says that isn't hers is attributed to her. See that? And why does this email account look like Chloe Shin created it? Email starts with K, ends in. All right. See, that's what she's saying. So she's it's definitely bizarre. So she's saying jmpaulson@gmail. This is not my account or my email. Yet, here we go. It's under her Google account information. The slews are all over her. You know? Hey, Barbara. So yeah, it's definitely weird what's going on. I'm thinking it's deja vu. Is it going to be enough to make the lawsuit go away? I don't know, but you know, I don't know. I was just watching AKC talking about KJ and her pattern of. It does look. It really does feel like a case of rinse and repeat. It really does. Just like there's a point where I said a couple of days ago that she'll have a bad reaction to Ashley not, and yes, that's right. Yeah, and I also said wait for the hacking and the she'll be hacked and and then suddenly she's hacked. You know, she thinks we're all dumb. I think. I swear that's what she thinks, that we're all dumb. Robert Shin, I think it was Usual Order, had said about narcissists can't handle silence, and it is probably true that he's not answering her and she wants attention. So she's going to scream from the rooftop until she can get that attention, but it's not going to work, is it? She hasn't posted as much on the weekend as I thought she might have. She might have actually been doing or having a weekend. So, which is really weird. But in a couple of hours, I've got to start school at 7:30 in the morning. I know it's only early. Yep, empty vessels make the most noise. That's what she's doing. Yeah. I mean, I know it's only 5 p.m. But because I'm not feeling well, I'm going to go to bed because I've got to start at 7:30 in the morning because we're doing a parents' breakfast at school. So I'm excited about that. Not really. Oh, did you see Princess? Oh, let's just change the topic of her. Princess Kate was out and about today. Gee, I tell you what, she looks thin. And I'm saying thin as in not well thin, but she was thin. But she looked beautiful as usual. And Louis, I love Louis. He was out, and his sister was put into line. He was dancing. He was caught dancing on the balcony, having a grand old time. I think he's going to be like his Uncle Harry. I think he's going to be like Uncle Harry before he met Meghan. Yes, I mean she does look thin. She does. Like when I look, I always thought she was thin, but I thought um, I looked at her and I thought that's just really, she's really, really thin. And it's for me, it's synonymous when people do have treatment. They did say she was having chemo, and people that I know that have had chemo have just become very, very thin, and she did look like that. I'm just seeing if I can get a picture for you all. Nothing's loading for me, as usual. So, but it was good to see her because all the conspiracy theorists now can go jump. So there was some really bad conspiracy theorists out there. Some really mean ones. So I tell you who she was, and she wore a very covering, beautiful outfit, but she stood sideways, and I thought, hope she's okay and getting. Yeah, I noticed that she always stood sideways. I tell you what, who I don't want to mess with is Princess. Look at Princess Anne and Lady Louise. Look at Princess Anne. I reckon she would deal with you in no trouble at all. Princess Anne and Lady Louise. What people talk when people talk about the royal family, and Harry and Meghan, Edward and Sophie decided not to give their children the prince and princess titles. They chose Lady and Lord, which is fine. Here we go. Look at this. Oh, here's two of the kids. Isn't that like, look at it, she's beautiful. And the other thing, short order, is I cannot remember the last time I've seen her hair down. I mean, I've seen her hair up. Hello, Bo. Princess Anne, I think, carries the royal family a lot. She did with the Queen died. She was a pillar. Well, I think, short order. I think somewhere she's the king's right hand person. So she's actually the king's guard. I think there's some official title. And if you noticed at the when they were doing the part, she was on the horse right next to him, and so essentially anyone that attacks him, she will jump in and protect him. I mean, that's an amazing job, really. That she's amazing honor that she's taken there. Yeah. So, but yes, but it was good to see her. I hope she gets better. And there are a couple of photos that I thought weren't as flattering, but I think that would be the chemo effect on her. She'd give a good cup. I think she would. As I said, I wouldn't want to mess with her. She was in the Navy. I think she went into the Army. She went into the Navy, I think. So she's joined. She joined the Navy, I think. Oh, And the other thing is that they're saying that a lot of them wore the clothes they wore to the coronation, which means that they're not spending thousands of dollars. Lady Louise, that's one side's the coronation. See, they're saying it's the same dress, just worn slightly differently. So they're a lot more conscious. So, which I think again is also a very good thing. But yeah, Katie Jo could be talking about lots of stuff at the moment. As I said, about Ginger's podcast, or Mary did a podcast just recently as well, but she isn't. She's just focused on Robert Shin. And Ginger, it was interesting. I just saw a snippet in it, and Ginger was saying that it's easy to criticize when you look back, but she just is ensuring that she doesn't do that with her kids. So, like she said, she had two younger siblings that she had to look after, and children shouldn't look after children, and she's right. Let's face it, we're probably all guilty of putting an older child in charge of a younger child at some point. If we were all honest, those of us that have multiple children. So I know I have, unfortunately. Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. Look at this. This is look at this. This is them on the balcony. Look at this. Watch this. There you go. Like Lewis just can't sit still. I remember she was interviewed and said that she was really embarrassed by Lewis at one point in time, and all the mums in the UK, mums going in the UK said, "No, it makes us feel great because you're just like the rest of us. Your boy's a little bit cheeky." Okay, so another thing, let's get back to, somebody did a search for these email addresses, these alleged email addresses, and discovered that they can't be found. So, does not exist. And then they did their own just to show that could do. She does discipline her kids in public. Yes, she does. And Charlotte also keeps them in track. Yeah. Charlotte keeps those boys under control as well. I think she's going to be, well, she will one day be the Princess Royal. So she will be responsible for keeping George in line. So all right, where are we? Here we go. Let's just have a look at the Reddit here. Right. But I also love how interested it, Katie said about the fact that how Miranda feels, oh, she's not really scared. She doesn't feel scared. Because who are you to tell me? How are you to tell Miranda how she's supposed to feel? Like that one picture, of Miranda and the Ellison woman actually questions everything that she makes you question everything that she's actually said, because of the fact that because James isn't in sight, She's out and about. And she's at a Netflix premiere. She really hates it. So I think she's trying to derail the case. Yeah. But how do we prove it? Definitely a very. I mean, the other thing about using KJ's losing the sources that we're feeding her. Well, that is true as well because somebody said that she was Kelly Wilkin. Like the whole fact that she's. Well, here's another one. Here's another one of Lewis. Here's another one of Lewis. Um, Now, if you, let's just, we're multitasking here. Look at this. Look, he's yawning. There he is. He's yawning. But look how thin Kate is there. And I'm not saying that to be derogatory or anything. I'm saying that to me, that tells me that she's been not well from that point of view. So if Kelly Wilkins called her out, then she's probably not very, in a bit of trouble. He's bored, yes, shorter. Probably. I mean, do you blame him? Oh yeah, so here's another one that so as I said, some of these posts are not there anymore, but this is from the Reddit. She said, he said, Robert Shin's oldest son was thrown out of the house during production of the series. He was shipped back to Canada during this time. Conrad said his dad has his phone contacts and data erased connected to the church. He says, and again, we can't see a date on this. Again, she's been very selective with what she's shared. Says my dad threw me out. I didn't want to leave, and he had every extra kind of member in my phone erased, and it was called an update. Denny and Lem both updated my phone, so I was creeped out when I discovered that. What do you mean? What do you mean that you were? What's he capable of? Again, we're not seeing all the conversations. What's the list of rules there? Well, that's right. I don't know what the list of rules are. I mean, often, let's just say when you do leave work, a job or something, you often usually have to hand up, the intellectual property stays there. So spare the rod to spoil the child. I was moved into one of the church houses as a teenager. When I cried to a teacher, my father had hit me and it got dismissed, at which time I was moved into one of the church houses at Esther's behest. Who's Esther? And subjected to something, death threats and assault after my father told them not to give me special treatment. So they threatened me to make a man out of me. I was traumatized. And then I was near 20, Dad and I reconciled. She says Conrad alleged that as a teen he was subjected to beatings and death threats by his father's mentors. Well, there are some people who were subject to beating and threats from their school as well. Like I'm not excusing it. I'm just saying it's not just this group that was just one. Your father hasn't been arrested for any crimes, no, but he's being investigated. That's my point. I'm preparing for the worst case scenario. By who? Myself. I've come to terms with the possibility of my dad's guilt for these acts. That doesn't mean I believe he's guilty, but I'm prepared to accept it if it is true. That makes no sense. Why do you think your dad will be arrested? Conrad disclosed that his father, Robert Shin, was under investigation by the IRS and he was prepared for criminal charges because he's been investigated by the IRS, and if sexual misconduct allegations are lost in the defamation, they go to criminal. Fines, Cattian. What? What on earth is that? What does that mean? That's not usually the way it goes, actually. It doesn't usually go civil. If the allegations are lost in the civil trial, there's no way it can go to criminal because the burden of proof is higher in a criminal. So couple of questions from that. How does an adult ship another adult out of the country? And was it his phone or was his dad paying for the phone and his dad took the phone off him? Okay, and she's going after sponsors again because look at this. This company sponsored Isaiah Shin and James Derrick for a paid partnership. I have to think that Kelly knew who KJ was but supported. So this was I'm seeking comment from Isaiah Shin since he remains on Instagram and continues to work for his father. Isaiah, would you like to make a comment about the documentary? Your dad has been accused of and fraud by 3 women and several former members. I thought there was more women than that, or we back down to 3. See, this is the thing. The story doesn't stay the same. The story changes. So somebody on Reddit has done this. KJ may think she's avoiding sponsorship type, but her intention is very clear. Yeah, correct. The mere fact that she's put it on her. Where's Peter when you need her? Here we go. Someone's done this. There's her Netflix security. Thank you to the Reddit. Thank you, Reddit, for this. Oh. Now, there is a Reddit for Dancing for the Devil. So let's go have a look at that. The Netflix of it's got 2,000 members. And so, again, here is some more pictures here. It says looking for some thoughts on this. There she is. I mean, are you saying I've been obsessed with some M cult theory, but there's something I can't wrap my head around. The idea that Twitch's death had something to do with 7M and that Allison was in on it. Originally I had thought, no way, but I realized recently that they filmed a couple of content together and were interacting with each other's social media accounts in a positive and supportive way. Went on Instagram just now to find them posting content together at a premiere for a new Netflix movie, which in its own right is just hilarious to me. You don't have thoughts on this. I know it's all conspiracy. Yes, so we're now onto also looking into Slovak and Lauren Gibson. I'm pretty convinced she's in 7M as well. And then everyone's like, they're just all the same. Beware of Robert or cult leaders in this group. I suspect at least one user commenting on a lot of posts in here seems to be like Robert or someone in the cult. I feel so bad for people stuck in his manipulation. Robert should be behind bars. I'm wondering whether there's a certain new person that is behind this. 100% one of them is. So, oh, it's Father's Day, is it, in the US? Okay, cool. I didn't know that. Lulu, how are you? Oh, is that why she's not around? Is that why she hasn't been around? She's been organising a Father's Day gift. Our Father's Day is in September. It's weird how we have stuff that's like Mother's Day is the same, and then Father's Day is different. I don't understand it. Don't try to understand it. But yeah, I mean, if Miranda's scared, does that mean she's supposed to live in fear in her house? Or does she try and live life as normal? Okay, 26 minutes in. Okay, cool. Nice. Yeah, my Instagram's not loading now. I might just see what she's up to on Facebook. Okay. Oh, have you noticed that her hacked Facebook account has stopped posting? Did you notice that? It was posting a lot of Mormon stuff around the time of Garrison's passing, and now suddenly it's gone silent. No, not even Facebook's loading. Ooh, that's sucky. It's about 5. It's 5:27 in Melbourne and Sydney are in the same time zone. Then it starts to get crazy because I think it depends whether it's daylight savings or not. Depends on the time difference for everybody else. So then you get Adelaide, South Australia, that's half an hour. I can never remember if Perth is 2 or 3 hours behind us at the moment in winter. So I think it's 2 hours. I think it's 2 hours. Queensland, I don't remember if they're on daylight savings or not. I don't remember. But yeah, I've been to Melbourne. You liked it? Oh, look, it's not bad. I mean, look, every city has its problems and issues, I think, and you just. But I mean, I do like it too. Been to Canberra. Canberra is very small, and mainly a lot of that's where Parliament House is. That's where all the federal politicians meet. And it's very much centered around government. Again, but it's very small. But it's nice. The saying goes, the reason why Canberra became Canberra was that initially federal parliament met in Melbourne, but the people in New South Wales wanted it in Sydney, and the people in Melbourne wanted it in Melbourne. So to stop the bickering, they chose a spot halfway between. So Canberra is actually halfway between Sydney and Melbourne. That's the story. And so Canberra, or the Australian Capital Territory, was formed. That's literally halfway. That'd be right. Yeah, that's right. There is not really a lot to do there. Unless you're a politician, I believe they've managed to find stuff to do. But that's why Canberra is where it is, because it was a made up. Well, it was just a made up place. Oh, look at this. I just saw this. This just appeared. This is what I mean about Prince Louis. So it takes twice as long to march to project. Correct. Yeah. Have a look at this. Have a look at this. This is Prince Louis.
Of F Company Scots Guards.
Tell him off.
So we're enjoying boogieing along to that. Of F Company Scots Guards. So we're enjoying boogieing along to that. Of
Isn't he cute? Oh, he's cute. He's cute. Oh, he's yeah, Blue Mountains are nice. There are some really nice places. Yeah. Look, we've got some beautiful country. He's got a pouty face. He does. We have some beautiful places. And hey, short order cook. What do you reckon about Robert Irwin threatening to sue Pauline Hance over the cartoon? First of all, she doesn't make the cartoon. But are we just getting to the point where are we getting to a point now where we can't make fun of people or satire? He's cute but naughty, says Lulu. Yeah, I reckon he's cute. I reckon he's going to be a handful when he's older. Look at this. I mean, I have to say about Kate is that, you know, she's letting him be himself. You know, look at that. But as I said, look how thin. Like I reckon, she's yeah. As I said, she's had chemo. Haven't heard anything about it. Satire is the last defense of being able to tell the truth amid the lies. Yeah. Well, apparently, because Louis and Robert Irwin apparently now the faces of the Queensland tourism thing, and in her cartoon thing, Robert Irwin made an appearance in her YouTube cartoon thing, and apparently got offended. Here we go. This is what he wants to sue her over. She's stunning, Lulu. I think she's stunning. Absolutely stunning. Yeah, this is what apparently this is what suing over. I actually think it's a really good picture.
G'day, I'm Robert Irwin, and this is my best mate Bluey. The Queensland government's given us a disgusting amount of money to show you the state of Queensland. Check this out. We got some of the best beaches in the world right here in the state of Queensland. Isn't that right, Blue? Oi, you dog! What are you doing on my land? Oh, g'day, man. We're just showing everybody this glorious beach. Get off! This is native title. We've got exclusive use. No white fellas. Oh, no, Bluey. Racial division. But
I haven't seen this, so I've got no idea what this is.
Don't worry about that, because we've got some of the funnest theme parks right here in the state of Queensland. Check this out. Oh, this must be the line for Warner Brothers Movie World.
No, this is a rental inspection for a one better in Rockhampton.
My mistake, Bluey. Wait till you see the Great Barrier Reef or this beautiful, pristine rainforest here in Chillumbin. You know, some people think they're eyesores, but I think they're pretty cool, eh, Blue?
Yes, that's Steve's son, yeah.
Oh, crikey. Look over there. That's a cassowary and a wedge-tailed eagle. Hey, don't worry about that habitat being destroyed, Bluey. We've got so much more to see here in the state of Queensland. Let's jump in the Land Cruiser. Up yours, Bluey! Oh, no, Bluey. Juvenile delinquents. They've knocked off the Land Cruiser. Hey, Blue, you know how I left my wallet in the Land Cruiser? Well, luckily here in the state of Queensland, it's only 50 cents a bus ride. Well, I guess that doesn't really help us folks out here in the country at all. But that's all right, because now we get to walk the beautiful Bruce Highway. Oh, no! Bluey! Careful of the potholes, Bluey! Lucky the state of Queensland's got a world-class medical system. Back of the line! How long's the wait? 6 months? Oi, Bluey, you dog! Oh no, it's them juvenile delinquents again. Oh no, Bluey's being bashed. Well, lucky for us, we've got an awesome premier here in the state of Queensland. Oh man, I can't believe this is the state of Queensland.
That is what he's taken exception to. He said it's defamation. As I said, I think it's a little bit of satire, making fun of some of the issues in Queensland at the moment. And he said he gave her a warning. This isn't so bad. Yes, he wants to sue over that. Yep, he does. Has issued an unintentionally hilarious cease and desist letter demanding this parody cartoon be taken down. One Nation has refused to engage, arguably, in the best litigator in the country. And yes, that's the thing, short order. It is all true. That's the sad thing. That is the sad thing. It is all true. Particularly the Bruce Highway. Have you driven on the Bruce Highway? It's horrible. But a lot of the roads have big potholes. So yes, but that's what they want. That's what he wants to sue over. He said, please take it down or else I'm going to sue you. Correct, Lulu. It wasn't about him though. But the thing is, him and Bluey have actually been made ambassadors of Queensland and are doing a Queensland tourism commercial. So in fact, a lot of it is like that part of it is true. He's lucky she didn't include child services in the ad and Queensland's fostering debacle. Yeah. Yes. Well, yes, well, and also that they didn't put this in here. This is Bruce Lerman is back in court, a different court, on Monday. He's in the magistrate's court on Monday on some more charges. So a committal hearing will be held in Toowoomba on Monday, where he'll face 2 charges. He's not been required to make a plea. And after the hearing, the magistrate will decide whether he will stand trial or not. So former Liberal Party staffer Bruce Lerman is expected to appear in Toowoomba Magistrates Court on Monday for a committal hearing over R charges. 2 counts of R alleged to have occurred over the 29-year-old's former hometown in Toowoomba in October 2021. During the hearing, the complainant in the matter is expected to be cross-examined by his lawyers. The court has previously heard that the prosecution and defence have agreed upon the points of cross-examination for the hearing, which is set down for a half day. The defence at previous court appearances has sought and received a data download from the complainant's mobile phone, but no details of the allegations against Mr. Lerman have been aired in open court. This will be the first time he's appeared in person at the Toowoomba court. On the other occasions, he's been excused from attendance. He's not been required to enter a plea, but he'll enter not guilty. The case was first mentioned in January 2023. The day before the court date, Queensland Police issued a media statement saying Toowoomba criminal investigation. Detectives had charged a 27-year-old man with the alleged R of a woman in 2021. At the time, under old legislation, he couldn't be named or identified because Queensland laws prevented the identification of those facing prescribed SA charges from being named until being committed for trial. Those laws changed last October. Was trying to remember the same fake, yes. So his lawyer sought a non-publication order, which was refused. A judicial review found the magistrate had not erred. So what's happened? So there is a timeline here. I shared on my an article on my community post, and it puts this timeline. So after the whole Brittany Higgins debacle, he spent some time in a hospital for mental health. He's gone home to spend time with his mother, and it's allegedly happened when he went back home to Toowoomba recovering. So, and this is the alleged time frame, and it's not just once she's alleged it's happened. She's alleged it's happened 2 or 3 times in a night. So it's is he somebody that's just bad luck, or is there something to it? He has a lawyer representing him, but the appeal for the defamation case he's representing himself, which I find to be absolutely bizarre. Why you would do that? He spent more time in court than most lawyers. Well, that is true. That is true. He has spent more time in court than most lawyers. That is true. Well, his name has spent more time in court than most lawyers, because he hasn't been. I remember when they were talking about it, and the Karen Reid case is crazy. Yeah, I can't get my head around that one. But are you old enough to remember Princess Anna? Then I had, yes, and bought baby William for the trip. Yes, I do remember. I am that old. So what do you think, that there'll be a post about Toad for Father's Day? Or do you think that it's going to be ignored? Are we going to see anything about her own father? Because she's changed that narrative. She's changed that narrative so often as well. KJ gets depressed on Mother's Day, so I doubt she'll recognise Toad for Father's Day, says Lulu. That's a good point. Although she could show us what V gets him. So now I want to just briefly go there. So I don't know whether you know, well, Australia's just had their swimming trials for the Olympics, but Leah Thomas apparently took it to the court of the arbitration of sport, which is the highest. It's called CAS. And they ruled that she can't compete. So essentially has said transgender athletes can't compete has ruled that not eligible. But interestingly, there's a weightlifter from New Zealand that's transgender and is very beats all the in fact, it's interesting because this weightlifter hasn't been able to win the weightlifting. It's a weightlifter from New Zealand. I think her name is she's been around for a while. But swimming have said no. So, they offered the transgender community. I don't have a problem with them having their own swimming category. If you have a look at Paralympics, right, they're split up into different categories as well. Now, as far as I know, I don't know of any other. I don't know of any transgender competitor, but I don't know whether it's just for the Olympics or. So competed in the 2020 Summer Games, the first openly transgender woman to compete. The first woman to compete, or first transgender woman to compete. So 2020, or maybe has she retired? Have they retired? Because they're 48 now, so I'd say you'd nearly be out of the saying it was a win for women. This should never have been something women had to fight for. Just my opinion, correct. Women should not have to fight to protect them. I think we've spent so much time trying to get ourselves heard, and now we're being ignored again and we're told that we're intolerant. I'm okay. Oh, there I am. Yeah, so here is this Laurel. I know weightlifting. I guess if you're going to have a transgender one, you're going to have weightlifting, it would be. So that's a transgender weightlifter from New Zealand. And they failed on the lift. So, yeah. So Hubbard didn't actually win a medal in Tokyo. So for a lot of people, they said, well, that's justification. But this is the first as I said, the first transgender we had to deal with drugged up. That's really what when you look at Debbie Flintoff King, and she was up against the Russians, and the allegations were that the European athletes were drugged up. She never actually said that, but that was the allegation. I've just changed my internet over to my phone, so hopefully it's a little bit more stable. I don't know what's going on. It's my life. I'm going to learn this out again until I was married. Yeah, we should not. And I mean, and we're told about, you know, we shouldn't have to feel unsafe. If we're feeling unsafe, we should be heard. All right, I've got onto her stories now. But as far as I know, that weightlifter is the only transgender athlete that has been competing. So then we've got this one. So we went through this. Yeah, Robert Shin's trolls. Isaiah blocked. Didn't the gold medalist offer her the gold? It was one of them. I think possibly, yes. Almost 15,000 signatures now, apparently. Just want to put this out there. Miranda's real friends and family wouldn't make a mockery of this situation like this. Alison isn't a real friend. And doesn't stand on the right side of this issue, period. Apparently, when I was in AU, I noticed that women's rights, or even how women were treated, was about 30 years behind US. Just your personal experience? That's interesting. I don't know, because I don't know what it's like elsewhere. Someone who knows Alison told me last week. Of course, she knows everybody. Oh, yeah, that's all right. Someone who knows Alison told me last week it's a numbers game in Hollywood. A lot of people will turn a blind eye if they can get publicity that's from a family member of someone stuck in a cult. Alison knows but believes Alison cares more about fame than anyone else. Really? We know somebody that cares about fame more than anybody else. When will I be famous? When will I get my picture in the paper? That's what she wants. So this, because it's behind paywall, I want this one to work. Yeah, I don't know what it's like anywhere else, to be honest with you, Lily. I as I said, I don't know if we're ahead or behind. Oh yeah, the more the quiet, yeah, the more that she say that, the more she stays quiet, the crazier she's gonna get. I mean, she's got the whole illegal immigration thing now with Slovak or Vic White or whatever his name is, or whoever that is. You know, she's now alleging that that's illegal immigration matter. So I don't know what any of the other trials, but short order Cook. You'd probably remember Hayley Lewis, and her son got selected for the Olympic trials, and she had that moment where she was there as a past Olympic swimmer, gold medalist, and Olympic champion. Oh no, I'm not insulted by it, Lulu. I'm not insulted by it. I'm just saying I wouldn't know because I've got nothing to compare it to. And Hayley Lewis was there, not only and then she had tears rolling down her eyes, being a proud mother. There's a few actually mothers who have, or parents having their children represent in the Olympics. Lani Pallister, mum also swam for Australia. So there's a few generational things, a few swimmers that are coming up through the generations, which I thought was very interesting. There you go. Short order says no, Lulu. It's true. It's pretty bad here, but it gets covered up. See, as I said, I have got no idea. I have no idea. But here's my like for me, right? I always go. Yeah. I mean, I felt like I was a loudmouth when I was there. Oh, it depends where you go. There are some. There's some very much loudmouths around in the country, but probably different type of loud. If you went to Bogan territory, it could be anywhere. You know. Does Australia have a shortage of women? I don't know about that either. You're asking me questions, intelligent questions, and I don't know the answers to them. But I seriously go, I don't know why anyone would want to be a woman. You know, like it's, you know, this is how I was born. And I'm just thinking, I don't know why you'd want to be a woman by choice. Not a good look. A lot of women like Vic, and that bugs KJ. Yes, that's right. I would have always said Australia's got a shortage of men, or good men. Bo, because can't find any. I've had a few funny careers, and one was a mechanic. I had a guy who took his car out of the shop because he didn't want a woman working on it. The 80s. Well, I mean, don't forget, Neighbours did a lot for that when you had Charlene as the mechanic. And that sort of dealt with that awkwardness. I mean, I've got to go back also a little bit further to Kingswood Country, where we had, when, you know, there was immigration coming in, and we were starting to become multicultural, and the main character, Ted Bullpit, was trying to hold on to everything that he felt was Australian, and thought that if we embraced multiculturalism, you know, the country would go down the tube. And his daughter married a Greek, you know, no, Italian, which was the most offensive thing that she could have done. You didn't have the curly hair, do you? So in some ways, TV has helped address or looked at some of those issues. So, you know, Charlene in Neighbours was the mechanic, and there was a bit of an uproar at that time, you know, when the characters of Neighbours not spending enough time in pubs to find men. Oh, do you know what I mean? Do you mean, Barbara, I've actually got to leave my house? They're not just going to come beating down on my door. I believe in the... All right, so let's have a look. I believe that was back in the 90s. There were more men than women in Australia. Well, that would make a little bit of sense too. Let's have a look. 2021. As of June, no, there's more women than men. So that's why I can't find a man. It says as of June 21, about 12.998 million females and 12.7 1.75 million men live in Australia. The population of both sexes has been increasing consistently, with slightly more females than males. There we go. Well, China's interesting because they have essentially sort of over the last 50 years. So one of the podcast interviews for, if you're a maniac, yeah, it shows, yeah. So these podcasts that I'm doing, one of the podcast people, and he'll be on this week, is a guy called Rick Charlesworth. Now, he's done everything and everything. He was an Australian hockey player. He was the Australian coach. He's played cricket. He's been a politician. He's currently working with the Chinese hockey team, which I found to be fascinating because China's not necessarily known for European sports. But he was talking about how much it's changed. And he said to me, China was for a long time, they had the one-child policy. They have essentially eradicated, in his opinion, has eradicated poverty in 50 years. So now you can have more than one child now. That's gone. The one-child policy now doesn't exist. But he said China in itself has changed a lot. And it's going to probably take now another 50 years to be the thriving, to thrive. But yeah, they had to do it for about 50 years. They eradicated poverty. And he did say there's a lot to learn about how they went about it, rightly or wrongly. And so he said it's very interesting. They do because boys were important, yeah. I mean, and that's the downside of it. When I travelled, it has been the Australian guys who like to party. I mean, even after football, they play sport. So it's really interesting, right? So you go to a local football team, and they might be punching each other's. We will punch the daylights out of each other. They'll hate each other on the field, and they come off and they'll buy each other drinks, and like they're like best friends again. Because it's bizarre. You've had 2 Aussie boyfriends. One break your heart. Yeah. I wouldn't say they're to get rid of the policy. They had so many more men and no one for them to marry. And that is also true. But the men also, they ended up. Oh dear, I've had that happen to me too. Not good. So this has just popped up on my Twitter. I just want to get back now. I think Princess Kate is beautiful. My point is she's been sick, and I think it shows. So this is her. I think she's lost weight due to the chemo, and I'm looking at that not as a criticism, but as to go, she's thin. Wow, that's look at what the treatment's doing to her. And as I said, she normally always wears her hair down. She's very frail and thin, yes, and that's what I see. I see that. She normally wears her hair down, but it's up. And so, I think I prefer it right. So, but you're right, Lily. She looks frail and thin there. And most of the photos. Oh, she's absolutely stunning, Lulu. Absolutely stunning. She is. She's absolutely stunning. There is criticism of the of Markle, who apparently put out a press release about some biscuits or something that was being released or something an hour before the King's trooping of the guard. So, but I do believe that the Poms don't. I believe the Poms don't want them back. By the way. Okay. Oh yeah, here we go. That's right. We've been younger and dumber. So this is called Inside the Games. So she did get thin for different reasons, correct? But as I said, we know that she's thin because of her. I'm sorry, we are just going all over the place here. We're going backwards and forwards, but it just, when I find what I'm looking for, this is how my brain is at the moment. But it says transgender increase, athletes face increased restrictions ahead of Paris 2024 compared to previous rules, as it was recently decided that they must have completed their transition before the age of 12 to avoid unfair advantage. Transgender athletes must face greater hurdles in qualifying. That will take place when it's been mandated that the transition must have been completed before the age limit of 12, as doing so after that could give an advantage over cisgender female competitors. I don't like the word cisgender, by the way. Oh, you like jumping around, Lulu? Okay, cool. It's important to remember that Laurel Harwood, a weightlifter from New Zealand, was the first openly transgender athlete to compete at the Olympic Games 3 years ago at Tokyo, held in 2021 due to COVID. She made history as the first openly transgender athlete to compete at the Olympics. However, her performance in the 87 plus category was modest. At 43, she was the oldest competitor at the 32nd Olympic Games, and after 3 unsuccessful lift attempts, her participation was reduced to an induction that did not last more than 10 minutes. And let me tell you, the press gallery was full. They had so many press when she was competing. They actually couldn't fit them all in. Hubbard and other transgender athletes who had previously will not be eligible for the Paris 2024 Games. Restrictions on participation, transgender athletes have become stricter since the last Olympics, with little to no room for interpretation. Previously, the IOC had issued guidelines that allowed any transgender athlete to compete as long as the woman had their testosterone levels below 10 for at least 12 months before their first competition. However, the current requirement has been changed to avoid disadvantaging cisgender women. In March, the World Athletics Council, the governing body, banned those who passed puberty before transitioning from high-level female competition. That decision was followed in 2022 by FINA, which will only allow trans swimmers who transition before the age of 12 to compete. The World Athletics Council expressed the overriding need to protect the female category, according to its president, Sebastian Coe, two-time Olympic champion. Similar sentiments were expressed by the World Aquatics when it adapted its new gender inclusion. This does not mean encouraging people to transition before the age of 12. It's what scientists say: if you transition after the onset of puberty, you have an advantage. In the same vein, the International Cycling Union has introduced safeguards for women's sports by preventing trans women who have reached puberty before transitioning from participation. However, a new men open category has been introduced for those who do not meet the gender standards. Unsurprisingly, transgender athletes who previously qualified to compete against cisgender female have not welcomed the new protection for female athletes. It appears these restrictions are based on the premise of not disadvantaging cisgender women. Yeah, that's the whole premise of it. So Leah Thomas. Yes, I've heard about it. So but this is where it gets really interesting, because the UK now have brought in a ban to stop giving puberty blockers to teens. So essentially it means that now that people from the UK won't be able to do it. So it looks like cycling has brought in an extra category. So whether everyone else does that. But if you look at swimming, particularly in the para games, there's a whole pile of different categories. For people, if you've lost a limb, you're not going to compete with people that, have cerebral palsy or something. It's the way it all works out. But she went, Leah Thomas went to the Court of Arbitration for Sport and appealed the decision and lost. The arbitration of sports, the Court of Arbitration of Sports, backed the FEMA. Look, I can't blame people like Leah Thomas and that runner. Their heads been filled with all this stuff, and I guess they're being brainwashed in some way. But I just, I just wish, So it says Leah Thomas versus World Aquatics. So there's been a whole part like this is where you go. If you shocked me speechless at the thought of Princess Duchess having a ring. Yes, well, I mean, there wasn't it going to go to Harry or something, but he let William have the ring or something when he met Catherine. Isn't that what happened? There was some story or something. So this is the tribunal here. Oh look, I could go work as a legal counsel. Oh. Anyway, so this is this was the arbitration of sports. This is their judgment. Okay. Again, and you're entitled to that opinion, Lulu. As I said, you're entitled to the opinion. I mean, look, so, and it goes through the fact challenge positions provided that such athletes are eligible to compete in women's category if they can establish that they have complete androgen insensitivity and could not experience male puberty, or androgen sensitive but have had male puberty suppressed beginning of tennis stage 2 or before the age of 12, which is ever later. So it says the athlete was born in 1999. She's a transgender woman. In 2021, began competing in the NCC National Swimming in the female category with great success. And on the 5th of January 2024, US Swimming granted the athlete's request for self-identity verification as provided on the USA athlete. And then went to court on the 6th of September. Cool. I've done nothing actually. Yeah, see you short order. It was a Zoom meeting for 10 p.m. What? So I'll be asleep by then. So this is the event here. They've taken you through the steps. So it's been a long process. The council, they were given to present their case. Yeah. Has standing to bring this arbitration. So they said that she could bring it, and that World Aquatics had to pay her costs. So could you imagine? I mean, women would have no chance, in my opinion, if they had to go up against. And then this is about the jurisdiction. This is the applicable law, procedural issue. So the merits, the position of the party, all comes down to being an elite athlete. So apparently they can sue under Swiss law, but the thing is, they have a men's category and a women's category. So yeah, so that's what happens. So the request for arbitration by Miss Leah Thomas against World Aquatics is dismissed. All other motions be dismissed. So essentially, they ruled in favour of Aquatics to say that she doesn't necessarily meet the requirements that need to be set out for competing. So yes, so there'll be no transgender athletes now competing at the Olympic Games. So anyway, well, you may as well put them all in together, Bo, if you're going to have, if that's, yeah. Anyway, I'm going to head off. As I said, I'm not really feeling very well. I need to have an early night because I'm not feeling great. And not only do I not feel great, I have to be at 7:30. School starts at 7:30 in the morning. Ooh. And it's a full day as well. So I don't know when I'll be back on, but I'll try and keep the community posts up with any of the crazy antics. And I'll try and keep you updated with anything to see what's happened with Bruce Lerman. I will let you know all of that. But yeah, we've talked about a whole variety of different things today. Yeah, probably someone is going to be, someone's probably not going to be happy about it, but I don't care. So yeah, just having this job. But yeah, as I said, I was really happy to see the photos of Princess Catherine. Beautiful. It's 1 a.m. Wow. Oh, it's just worked. False alarm. Oh, no, it's not worked. Some days I'll look back at my school days with fondness. Oh, no, it is a false alarm. I'll look Look back on fondness, I don't know. Look, the kids are happy. I guess at the end of the day, the kids love coming, they love having their music lessons. So I guess, you know, it could be worse. But look, yes, so let me know what if you want to have a chat in the comments below. Feel free. Do you think the video that that was about Robert Irwin, do you think that was satire, or do you think he has cause for defamation, for a defamation case, which is what he's threatening? Do you think what do you think about Katie Joy's latest antics? Is it time just to let it rest? Bruce Lerman, who we've been following because, he's back in court tomorrow, criminal court tomorrow. See whether these charges could. The interesting thing is that if the charges are dropped, because Whitney Higgins has had a win in the civil, it may work. Oh, and so, as I said, and do you think those messages were really from Conrad? What's his name? Robert Shin's son. I have my doubts, because he was talking about the fact that if the civil claims don't work, they'll have a criminal claim. And I'm saying it doesn't work that way because the standard of proof is lower in a civil case than in a criminal case. So if you don't meet the standard proof, standard burden, you're not going to meet a criminal burden. I'm sorry, you're not. So that to me is a little bit of a porky pie, as we say. Anyway, thank you. If you could do me a favor, hit like and subscribe, and I will catch you again next time. As I don't know when that will be. I'm going to try and get some recordings done, and I'm going to do some filming and get some other videos up on other more exciting subjects. Anyway, thank you for watching. Bye for now.